If you're struggling in Elden Ring, or you just want to make the game that much easier for yourself, you have to try this incantation. It is insanely powerful. It is a little bit situational, but on most bosses, particularly the bigger ones, and even the bigger mobs like dragons, this skill is insane. We're talking one-shot potential, or at the very least 2 or 3 times casting it to just completely delete the boss with the click of a button. You have to try the Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. And there's also a few different items and buffs that we can use to increase its potency that just make it insane tier, basically bringing it up to Comet Azure level cheese for bosses, so we have to talk about it. So the incantation itself is of course the Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. It's a secret incantation of the capital's ancient dragon cult. You summon a red bolt of lightning that scatters and spreads around the caster in the surrounding area in almost a star-like pattern. You can charge to enhance the range of the lightning bolt, and this is one of the red lightning skills wielded by the ancient dragons, so thematically it's very cool. But this is one of the few of the Dragon Cult incantations that deals incredible amounts of damage. It has a 36 FP cost to cast, a 31 stamina cost to cast, but it also only requires 26 faith, and what makes it so interesting is the fact that each individual bolt of lightning that spreads around you is its own tick of damage for the cast of the incantation, which means on bigger mobs that can connect with multiple of the lightning strikes, you're going to be dealing insane amounts of damage in the high thousands, even the tens of thousands if they all connect. So first things first, to get this for yourself, you're going to need the Ancient Dragon Prayer Book, which you can find in the Crumbling Forum Azula. Near this site of grace you can see on screen now, and it's found in the ground level of the middle of the room. There are enemies in the room, but there's a very clear body that you can loot. I've already looted it, but it's exactly here that you can see on the screen now. Once you have it, you can then go to the Church of Vows to our big turtle friend, trade it to him, and then you can buy this for yourself for 10k runes. But it doesn't stop there, because there are some talismans and other items that we can use to buff the potential of this spell that makes it an ultimate boss killer incantation. Because this is a Dragon Cult incantation, the Gravelstone Seal will be absolutely excellent, as it does come with a passive buff for Dragon Cult incantations, around a 15% buff. The Jellyfish Shield will also be fantastic, as its built-in ability gives you around a 20% damage buff for all sources for around 30 seconds. The incantation's Golden Vow and Howl of Shabriri also buff your damage output, so these are great to have if you plan to use this. Then for talismans, the Godfrey Icon will be fantastic as it enhances charge spells, and although this is technically an incantation, it does still work for the Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. So that's an extra 15% damage from the Godfrey Icon. There's also the Lightning Scorpion Charm that will give your lightning damage an increase 12%, and this is lightning damage, so that's going to be fantastic for us, but remember it increases physical damage taken by 10%. You could also use the Ritual Sword Talisman, which will boost our attack power by around 10% when we're at full HP, and that includes the damage of this incantation. The Phlox Canvas Talisman greatly boosts the potency of incantations for another 8%, but if you want to increase the casting time of this incantation because it is quite long, you might also consider something like the Radagon's Icon that will give you 30 virtual points in dexterity to increase your casting speed. And you can always go for something like the Incantation Scarab for your helmet, which will reduce the FP cost of your incantations, which is a nice bonus to have if you plan to use a lot of incantations. But it doesn't end yet, because we can use our Wondrous Physic mix with something like the Lightning Shrouded Crack tier to get even more damage for this spell, and you could even pair it with the Dexterity Not Crystal tier, which will boost your dex by +10 for even more casting speed to make it even faster. So all of these items, depending on which ones you choose, will give you increased casting speed and massive amounts of increased damage to allow you to delete most bosses and bigger monsters in the game with complete ease. The only ones that this doesn't work so good against is fast moving enemies and smaller enemies, because you won't connect the lightning as often and as quickly, but for bigger enemies, dragons, bosses, even in PvP, it only takes 1 or 2 of these lightning bolts to connect to instantly kill people. I really encourage you to try it out for yourself with these items to buff it up and see what you think of it, because it is very powerful. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe down below. Let us know in the comments if you have any other incantations potions, spells, or combos that you think are particularly strong. And we have another video that's on screen now that we think you will really enjoy and don't want to miss out on if you're enjoying Elden Ring, so definitely check it out on the screen now.